Hey, Pure Michigan World. This is Susan Proctor. I'm the Strategic Initiatives Director of the Automotive Office. I'm pleased to have some esteemed guests with me here today. We're here today because obviously we signed an MOU. The governor of the state of Michigan signed an MOU with MP Harrington. What are some of your takeaways? What did you learn anything? Do you have any takeaways? What were your favorite things? Daniel, I'll let you start on that.
That gives the others time to think, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. See how I did that?
You talked about talent. Talent is a key element, but we've also had some meetings where subjects such as cybersecurity and legislation standards that need to be developed on a world base so that we don't waste time generating unnecessary competition between our industries, so that we can accelerate the deployment and the exploitation of the technologies that we're talking about as rapidly as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. And at the end of the day, the quicker we do this, the more lives that we save. So, absolutely. So, I will ask you, David.
I think the skills thing is a great example. I think it's an example of where the UK and Michigan and areas and countries across the world are dealing with this potential skills gap coming, right now, but coming even more in future. And I think there's a lot of real win-wins there in terms of how you capture the imagination of students at a young age and going forward and bring them into STEM and AI, and how we can share best practice. I think it's a real win-win between the UK and Michigan. We can both inspire our students and then potentially move towards things like exchange programs as well.
Neil?
So the big highlight for me, I think, has to be the time that we spent at MCity.
Yeah.
What an amazing initiative that is proving to be, something that I would imagine universities around the world would aspire to, to have that facility and to have that vision. And the amount of work that's going through there is really quite impressive. So that was really a highlight for me. The other thing that I would say is just how quickly the things seem to be happening in Michigan. So I think we've got things to learn at the speed at which things are happening here, and in the UK there's a lot of really good activities going on, but I think we can share some of that learning and understanding of how progressive and how quickly things have happened here, and we can make that happen in the same way in the UK.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. I mean, you guys have so much money invested. I mean, that's one of the reasons. Remember that PMG study that came out of let's see, how did they word it? It was the countries that were most ready for mobility. And we took a look at those, and our governor just said, hey, MEDC, you need to be working with these countries. We need to be talking with one another to talk about policy, regulation, and standards, as Daniel said. And so he put us forth on that mission to start that conversation. The UK is ranked...
It varies depending on the criterion you're looking at, but there are half a dozen countries, I think, that are at what we call the top table.
Yeah.
Countries or states. So Michigan, the UK, Netherlands, Japan, South Korea, Singapore. You might argue that Australia and Canada are coming up into those groups as well, and Germany has to be in there too. But I said there are half a dozen that are really at the forefront and making the kind of rapid progress that Neil's referred to. And the I'm going to use a horrible word, the synergies between what the UK approach, the cultural approach, the commitment to collaboration that UK and Michigan under Governor Snyder have, I think they are incredibly compatible, which is why we've got a number of MOUs, as have you. This is one which I think has an enormous amount of potential.
And absolutely.
We have an example from this trip as well. Yeah. Our own company Immense, who came on this delegation with us, have signed contracts with US customers the first time while in Michigan with us. So this is an example in real time of that collaboration actually bearing fruit.
Absolutely, and they were here with Innovate UK back in March. For the first time, and we, had been carrying through this conversation. And sometimes when we develop relationships like this, it's a long sales cycle. In this case, we were able to close the deal very, very quickly.
That's also a reflection on the speed at which things can happen. So you're right, immense simulation. They've taken that decision to get involved in activities in Michigan, and for very good reason, because they can see huge opportunities by having people based here, doing work here, and building on the success that already exists. So I think it's absolutely clear why they've done that. and they're a success story in their own right, but they can build on that being based here.
Yeah, absolutely. And to go back to your comment, Daniel, about we have several MOUs. I think the state of Michigan, I don't want to put a number on it, you know, a lot of them are ceremonial, and ceremonial for good reason. But what I like about the one with the UK that we've just entered into, also with Australia, the Austrian state of Styria, and Netherlands, all of those have resources behind them, dedicated resources, and people like yourselves that are dedicating to carrying the MOU and the activities forward.